Welcome to the American Red Cross DRO Call Center Operations Activity Follow-Up Training, updated August 25th, 2017. This training is for anyone assigned to or working with the call center who needs to follow up, view, take action, or coordinate around client calls and client contacts to the call center. Step one is that you'll need to open up an internet browser. Google Chrome is best, and you'll go to rcview.redcross.org. You log in with your volunteer connection credentials, and once you log in, you will see this screen. You may not see all of these tiles, but you want to click on the DAT tile. If you don't have that, it means you do not have the proper permissions. To start, you need to have at least dispatcher or above permissions within RCView. And then secondly, you will also need to be assigned to the DRO call center within RCView. In order to do that, you should contact rcview@redcross.org. Once you log in, you will want to go to your Assigned DROs tab, which is right here, and you'll see the DROs to which you are assigned. Within this tab, you'll notice that the DRO perimeter is drawn here on the right-hand side, and you'll double-click into the assigned DRO. RCView will refresh, and here you have details of the DRO, all related calls and events, a map of the DRO, specific analytics, and then also looking at different types of operations activities from mass care reunification, health services, mental health, functional or access need, government, media, donations, and complaints. All you need to do is work in your specific box here. The idea is that when a call is received by the call center, the call agents, dispatchers, will be tagging that call with the specific needs of the caller. If a caller has health and mental health needs and they also are offering a donation or they're complaining about Red Cross service, the call center will be checking those boxes. And from there, each one of those records is presented to you here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take a look at some of the records that are in here. And as you click through each of the tabs, the records that are related to this DRO will display on the left-hand side. And what we'll do is let's look and see if we can find any donations type calls. And we'll click through here. It takes a second to load. Here's one right here. So your job as an activity lead or someone assigned to the call center performing follow-up and client outreach is you will start going through each of these records. If a record shows here in your tab, in your window, then that means that there's action required by you. And here we have an actual test record. John Smith is the caller. And you actually see that there's a number of things requested. Because this is a test event, all of the assistance requested fields are checked. Your responsibility is to go in and edit the specific record. You'll take action as appropriate based on the notes about the call and your training and the specifics of the disaster relief operation. But your responsibility is to actually indicate follow-up here in the call log. So it will take a second to load. There's a lot of information in the system. And once it presents itself, what you'll do is you'll expand this window. I'm going to do this here so it fits inside the training window for us. Here we go. All right, and I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to see, again, all of these assistance requested fields are checked. And you see follow-up statuses. So if, for example, health services was not checked, then you would not see health services follow-up status. When you see these follow-up statuses, this is for you as part of the DRO. So in this case, let's say that I'm working in external relations. I'm a government liaison. What I would do is I take a look at this, and it's actually, I'm going to open it. That means I'm working the call. I'm working to follow up, provide feedback, whatever that is, and I'm going to note what I do here in the service log. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to write my name, and I'm going to timestamp it, 5:35 p.m. Eastern Time, and then I'm going to take notes. And this way, if there are 10 people who are working the record, it could be in this case, there might be 8 people working this record. We're going to know who did what and when. And I'm going to say working to connect with emergency management agency. And then let's say I was Bob Jones, and Bob Jones at 6:24 p.m. Eastern Standard Time was mental health. Mental health is open, working to identify client medications and closest pharmacy. So what you do here is that way, actually, as you work your way through, we're going to be able to take care of each of those records. And then ultimately, when you are done, if I'm the government, going back to government here, if I've completed and I've connected with EMA, then what I would do is I would actually mark this as closed. So this is a really easy way for multiple people to work a record at the same time to make sure that a client is followed up with appropriately and that we can track everything here in this service log. So very simple and straightforward when performing follow-up. This is going to prevent us from extracting things, putting it into Excel, having 8 different copies floating around the DR. We all know how crazy that can get. And so everything being done here allows us to document it and understand what exactly it is that we have going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click OK here, and that's going to go away. And that is training around follow-up. And what we did here, just to recap, is we understood where our records were. Let me go back here and get to the larger DRO screen. I had to hit the back arrow there. What we did is we talked about how to find records that we care about. We talked about what it means for a record to be in here. And what we also talked about was how to open a record, and then how to indicate proper follow-up status and how to indicate whether you need to mark something as open or closed, and also how you're going to enter tracking information into the service log, your name as well as the timestamp, and then the information that you need to input so that everybody can understand what's going on with a caller. Once you mark something as closed, it will no longer show up. You can actually filter it out here. So again, when you mark it as closed, if we were to filter on all open records, we would not see it here. But by default, we do see all of the records. And that's intentional so that we don't lose anything, but the filter is very easy. If I want to do open here, I check open, I click out of that, and then I click apply user rules. And you'll see here it's now gone, filtered away. Let's go back to all. We'll apply user rules, and the record will come back. Sometimes it'll take a second, and you may have dozens or hundreds of records. When you click here on any one of these column headings, similar to if you're working in Excel, what it'll do is it'll actually filter and usually the way that we would do this here is by date and time of call. So it'll start with the most recent calls up at the top, but if you wanted to flip that and go to the oldest ones, you can go ahead and flip that. I hope this training was informative, and we wish you luck working on disaster relief operations and serving our clients. Thank you.